Now at 10 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a deadly crash in B County is under investigation by the FAA.
A $10 billion project in Calhoun County hits the brakes, while ExxonMobil is changing course.
Plus, President Trump suggests some federal workers may not get back pay, the proposal that has both parties pushing back.
We are looking at a cold front in North Texas. It's actually cooler up in the Panhandle. Will it make it to the crossroads? And will it bring us any cooler weather? We'll talk about that coming up in a moment.
And the Cuero Gobblers begin district play this Friday night versus Rockport Fulton. We'll highlight this matchup later on.
You're watching 25 News Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry.
And I'm Don Brubaker.
ExxonMobil is hitting pause on its $10 billion plastics plant in Calhoun County. The company planned to start construction next year, but a spokesperson says now the market conditions do not support moving forward at this time. According to a Texas Tribune article, activist Diane Wilson believes her lawsuit over a school district tax break deal played a big role. A judge ordered the district to redo the hearing after finding the public was not properly notified. And ExxonMobil maintains that they are still interested in developing a plant in the area, saying as part of the statement, they are confident in their growth strategy. The statement goes on to say they are maintaining good relationships with community leaders and contractors in case the project can continue at an undetermined date.
A plane crash between Beeville and Skidmore is under investigation. A DPS spokesperson says the small, non-commercial plane crashed this afternoon off U.S. Highway 181, killing the pilot. He was the only person on board. Records show the Beechcraft 35 Bonanza aircraft took off from the Beeville airport shortly before crashing. The FAA is looking into what made the plane go down.
The constitutional amendment and joint election are just weeks away, and Texans have a lot to decide. There are 17 propositions on the November ballot, including the Texas Water Fund. It's designed to keep water flowing to homes and businesses, even during outages or emergencies. This fund could mean more workers to monitor and manage water systems before problems start. Local political expert Woodrow Wilson Wagner II says water might seem like a small issue until it's not.
Water is perhaps the most important basic thing ever, right? And if we don't have water, things go to a halt, not just in our homes, but in our businesses.
Early voting starts October 20th through the 31st. Election day is November 4th.
The Refudio County Commissioners Court ended the order banning outdoor burning in that county. The issue of outdoor burning will remain a standing Commissioners Court agenda item for future consideration should the court find that unsafe conditions exist within the unincorporated areas of the county that constitute a public safety hazard.
All right, not a whole lot of rain in the forecast, but also cooler temperatures to, hopefully keep the land and area from drying out so much.
Yes, but Mac, now how cooler is it going to get?
Well, I'm pretty excited that we're going to at least get our nights to be a little chilly, low 60s. Okay, we'll talk about that coming up in a minute, but also get a load of this. Excessive rainfall outlook for where? Yuma, Arizona. How about, have you ever been to Yuma? There's not much there. There's a Marine base. And it's the southwestern desert, but all of this area is going to pick up some tropical moisture. What about Texas? Is there anything in there for us? We'll be looking at that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
It has been 1 week since the government shutdown began, and now air travel is feeling the impact. The FAA warns of staffing shortages in Nashville with delays in Dallas and Chicago.
Meanwhile, as ABC's Melissa Don reports, President Trump questions whether furloughed workers will get back pay.
The stalemate between Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill dragging on an entire week and now impacting air travel. Flight delays seen from Las Vegas to Chicago, Dallas and Houston to Boston, Newark, Atlanta and Nashville. Air traffic controllers calling out, causing staffing issues and flight delays.
That's closed. Everything in the tower's closed.
Burbank, California's airport closing its air traffic control tower as it was left unmanned for hours last night. Flights delayed hours as controllers in San Diego took over. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association says the situation is not a coordinated sick-out as they urge members to report to work, but say members have bills to pay.
We work evening shifts. We work midnight shifts. We have single parents. And when you're not even able to afford the childcare, those are going to be the very difficult decisions that are made.
President Trump suggesting some of the 750,000 federal workers now furloughed without paychecks may not get back pay when the government reopens, even though that is the law.
For the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way.
Democrats say what the president is proposing is illegal.
The law is clear. Every single furloughed federal employee is entitled to back pay.
Some Republicans calling it, quote, a strategic mistake.
There's a lot of good, hardworking people out there. It's just, I don't think that is helpful discussion right now. Let's get out of the shutdown.
Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Texas National Guard members have arrived at an Army Reserve Center in Elwood, just outside Chicago. A judge denied Illinois' request to block their deployment. Hundreds are expected to start training this week, with some possibly hitting the streets soon after. A court hearing is set for later this week, but by then they may already be in place.
Over the weekend in Chicago, a group of residents stepped in as ICE agents tried to detain a man. 2 Border Patrol agents were pulling him toward an unmarked car when he started yelling for help. Drivers honked, bystanders shouted for the agents to let him go, and the standoff dragged on for over 4 minutes. A Homeland Security official says the crowd obstructed law enforcement, but the agents let the man go so they could respond to another call. Grammy-winning country star Zach Bryan is stirring debate with a new song snippet. The 29-year-old posted a preview of his upcoming track, Bad News, with lyrics that seem to criticize ICE raids. He captioned it, quote, the fading of the red, white, and blue, unquote. Political lyrics are rare in country music, where audiences tend to lean conservative. But Bryan's military background and loyal fan base may give him more room to speak out. Attorney General Pam Bondi faced tough questions on Capitol Hill about drone strikes, the use of the military in U.S. cities, and her handling of the Epstein files.
Michael Yoshida reports on the heated exchange and what Bondi revealed under oath.
United States Attorney General Pam Bondi testifying before U.S. lawmakers.
I took office with 2 main goals: to end the weaponization of justice and return the department to its core mission of fighting violent crime.
Bondi sparring with Democrats over the Trump administration's push to deploy the military in U.S. cities.
I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump. And currently, the National Guard are on the way to Chicago. If you're not going to protect your citizens, President Trump will.
I've been on this committee for more than 20 years. That's the kind of testimony you expect from this administration. A simple question as to whether or not they had a legal rationale for deploying National Guard troops becomes grounds for a personal attack.
Bondi also asked about allegations from Republican senators that as part of the January 6th investigation, the FBI improperly spied on them by obtaining phone records of GOP lawmakers.
You've seen this document, Attorney General Bondi. What was going on here? Who ordered this? Who ordered the tapping of the phones of United States senators?
Bondi saying she's looking into the matter. The AG also pressed on other issues, including drone strikes of suspected drug cartel boats, the so-called Epstein files, and investigations and personnel decisions which Democrats argued had been motivated by politics. Bondi often deflecting and attacking.
And you rail against dark money. Yet you work with dark money groups all the time, Senators. You shut down the government. You voted to shut down the government, and you're sitting here.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Renewable energy is on the rise. A new report from energy think tank Ember shows global solar and wind power generation topped electricity demand this year. And for the first time ever, renewables produced more power than coal. Solar jumped a record 31% and wind grew more than 7%. Meanwhile, fossil fuel generation dipped slightly.
We're on pothole patrol, and today we found these at Trinity and Navarro Street. Send us a photo or video of the pothole you're dealing with, and we'll get on the next pothole patrol. Email us at staff@crossroadstoday.com. And tonight, communities celebrated their local law enforcement with National Night Out. Now, National Night Out began in August 1984, becoming an annual tradition for communities to connect with local police, firefighters, and emergency services. These shots are from the Lake Forest neighborhood earlier this evening. There were plenty of games, toys, and food for the families in attendance. National Night Out is celebrated the first Tuesday of October in Texas.
And remember to subscribe to our Crossroads Today YouTube channel, hit the like button, and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, new numbers show a dramatic rise in autism, the statistics that have experts searching for answers.
Also ahead, President Trump has a plan to keep food aid flowing, but there's a major obstacle in the way.
Most Americans can still get a COVID-19 vaccine for free. Private insurers and Medicaid will continue covering CDC recommended vaccines at no cost through next year. But getting the shot now comes with an extra step. The CDC is no longer making a broad recommendation for everyone. Instead, they say people should talk to their doctor first. So the good news is you likely will not need a prescription, but you will need a quick conversation with your provider. Autism spectrum disorder affects many American families, with reports showing that numbers are on the rise.
ABC's Jacqueline Lee has what parents need to know.
1 in 31 children were diagnosed with autism in 2022, according to the CDC. That's more than double the rate the CDC reported in 2010. Experts don't entirely know what causes autism, and they don't fully understand the reasons behind the increase. Some theories, environmental factors, genetics, and older parental age may all play a role. And an important consideration, there have also been changes to how autism is defined over the past few decades. As scientists have learned more, other conditions like Asperger's syndrome have been included in the autism spectrum disorder diagnosis. There's also greater awareness, so parents, educators, and doctors know to be on the lookout for signs and symptoms. In 2007, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommended universal screening to help recognize autism early and connect families to resources. If you have questions or would like to have your child evaluated, talk to your pediatrician about next steps. With this Medical Minute, I'm Jacqueline Lee.
The federal government is now in its second week, and the Trump administration says it has a plan to keep food aid flowing. President Trump wants to use money from trade tariffs to help fund the WIC program, which provides food assistance for pregnant women, new mothers, and young children. But that plan faces a hurdle. Tariff revenue is frozen in a general fund until Congress approves a spending bill. Lawmakers could designate those funds for WIC, but only if they agree on new legislation.
A new study is raising questions about the popular opioid pain medication Tramadol. Often seen as a safer alternative, researchers say it may not be very effective for long-term pain. The study reviewed 19 clinical trials involving more than 6,000 patients and found Tramadol only slightly reduced chronic pain. It also carried a higher risk of side effects like nausea, dizziness, constipation, and even heart issues. The lead author says doctors should reconsider using the drug and look at safer options. Well, continuing our coverage of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a new report from the American Cancer Society estimates more than 33,000 women will be diagnosed with lobular breast cancer this year.
Despite its prevalence, it's still under-researched. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither looks at the unique signs to watch for this disease.
It's a lesser-known breast cancer that develops in a patient's milk-producing glands, and cases of lobular breast cancer are on the rise in the U.S.
Most people aren't familiar with this subtype, and I think it's because the short-term prognosis is very good.
But Rebecca Siegel with the American Cancer Society says that there's a delayed detection of this type of breast cancer. Long-term prognosis for advanced disease is not good. She's the senior author of a report that found there's a critical need for more research into this specific disease.
We need to distinguish this cancer in clinical trials so that we can find more effective treatments, because incidence rates are actually increasing quite steeply, more steeply than for other types of breast cancer.
Because tumors and those with lobular breast cancer grow in a linear pattern or maybe spread out, Siegel says they don't form a lump like other breast cancers and can be harder to detect during a mammogram. So she says women need to watch out for other signs, including nipple inversion, hardening of the breast skin, or dimpling of that skin. If these symptoms are consistent over a week or two, she says go see a doctor.
Adjuvant chemotherapy doesn't really work. So we need to distinguish this cancer in clinical trials so that we can find more effective treatment.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The researcher says the risk of all types of breast cancer can be reduced through healthy lifestyle choices.
That includes maintaining a healthy weight, staying physically active, and if you do choose to consume alcohol, having it in moderation.
Good evening, everybody. We're looking at 79 degrees right about now. Fairly comfortable out there after having a 92 as a high today. Our temperatures, however, are going to stay above our seasonal average because, well, that's just the way it is for this week. No rain, although there were some showers around the area. We'll take a look at what the rest of the week looks like, and we'll take a look at the tropics, which are still rather busy. All that coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. This evening, we actually have a frontal system to the north of us. You can see how all the little pop-up showers that we had this afternoon in the heating is actually all south of it. To the north of it, there is some drier air and some cooler air, as a matter of fact. We look at the big picture, anything coming in our direction. Well, this next front will dive east, so that's going to miss us. This frontal system is getting deeper and stronger, but it's going to miss us because high pressure is still on top of us. Not a lot of chance of any of that moving until that goes away. We're looking at the current temperatures right about now, so we're in the upper 70s, but I want you to see what's going on up in, well, let's see what the Red Raiders are doing in Lubbock. They've got a 69 as a current temperature, and it's 58 in Amarillo. Yes, wouldn't it be nice if it moved south, but it's just not in the cards for the next 7 days. I'm going to show you why. Here are the little pop-up showers that occurred around the crossroads today, most of them away from Victoria. And of course, the biggest stuff was actually down here between Falfurrias and Laredo. They had actually a thunderstorm out there, a severe weather for a little while. So I'm sure they're pretty happy of getting that, at least for the short term. Now for our area for tonight, everything is sort of settling down. These are of course all caused by the afternoon heating, so they'll occur between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock and it's over. Now this is Hurricane Jerry. Jerry is strengthening and will likely be a big problem. Fortunately, at this hour, it looks like it's going to go just to the north of Antigua and hopefully not make a direct hit on them, but they're going to get some nasty weather, and then Jerry pulls out away, taking that right turn. This one's real complicated. Okay, first of all, we've got Priscilla. Priscilla is a big storm, 110 miles an hour. The lower tip of Baja is already getting the high surf, probably 4 inches of rain, that kind of stuff. But then the storm is going to move northbound and then cross over the Baja Peninsula and then bring a lot of rain to the desert southwest. In addition to that, we have Octave over here. What's the one that turned around? The remnants of that are going to get soaked up in here, and then all that is going to move northbound. And then right behind it, we have another system that's going to possibly follow the very same path. Well, because of that tropical moisture streaming up into the deserts, they're already putting out excessive rainfall outlooks for Thursday, where they're going to get all the activity. Do you see Texas? Do we get any of it? Nope. Nope, we're not going to get any of that because of high pressure that's on top of us. All right, tonight we're getting down to only 72 degrees, and tomorrow, well, another sunny day with wall-to-wall sunshine. We're going to get up into the 90s again. It's a little bit humid today or tomorrow, but after that it starts to get a little drier, so it's actually going to be more comfortable. Here's the big dome. I mean, when pressure is this high, nothing really can go through it. So you'll see as we go through Thursday and on into Friday how that tropical thing over there is going to be going up through Arizona and then probably Utah, but it's not coming in our direction as long as that dome is sitting on top of us. So what's it going to take? I don't know just yet. We're hoping for, you know, a big front or something. It's 93 tomorrow in Port Lavaca. In Cuero, you're also getting up to 93. A good day to be outdoors and getting some work done, but it's going to be even better by the weekend because this little front is going to give us that northeast wind. And look at that, night times will get down into the low 60s. Not exactly cold, but fresh and comfortable. And the weekend is looking pretty spectacular right about now. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a Day on your phone. And now we'll toss it over to Maxwell with volleyball.
That's right, Max. Tonight we had some great Tuesday night volleyball action. We highlight 3 top games locally here in Victoria, and we'll hear from a couple players and coaches. All that coming up next. It's Sport. We are officially halfway through the season, and one team that's created waves is the Cuero Gobblers, who currently are 6-0 so far this season. And we've talked about their offense and mentioned a lot recently with Walker Dietz, the top wide receiver, and quarterback Jackson Marie for the Gobblers. But one player that's been the X factor there for the Gobblers on the offensive side is running back Camelo Perez, who's already has 900 rushing yards there this season for the Gobblers there on the ground. But the defensive side, they shut down 6A school to Harlingen Cardinals there last week until about the fourth quarter, where they kind of made a late comeback, but the Gobblers would kind of fend them off to get a big-time victory there to finish off non-district play, as the Gobblers now turn their attention to this week to begin district play versus the Rockport Fulton Pirates, who are 3-3 overall, and they're trying to see if they can get a big-time upset. But for Cuero, looking to start 1-0 there in district this Friday night. Now from Cuero football to Tuesday night volleyball action, where we had 3 Victoria teams all play at home here tonight. First, we're going to start with Victoria West Warriors. They faced the Richmond Randall Lions today at home, where the Warriors were looking to start off hot, with both Griffin and Bazell having 9 kills in the contest in this one. And they're going to bat both of these teams there with, again, Bella had some big-time production. Also, Emily Parker as well had 8 kills to help out there. The Lady Warriors get the big-time victory in 3 sets. Now, they're going to be up there this upcoming Friday there, starting up against our next opponent, which is their Victoria East Titans, who look to get their win number 7 there in district play. And the Titans, they got a 3-set victory over Richmond Thomas there, winning 25-17, 25-12, and then 25-13. Livia Zaboral had 14 assists, with Camry King having 9 kills, 14 digs there in total. And after the game, we had a chance to speak with their head coach and Shelby Sproudley about how they felt about tonight's big-time victory.
I'm feeling great. I think the girls did really well, and we executed really well. They played to their means. They picked it up. We were a little shaky in the first set, and then we picked it up and pushed through and got the dub. Defensively, we're trying to get ready and just prepare against a big swing.
Now, again, you see the big-time matchup here this Friday night there, Victoria East versus Victoria West right now. And that's going to be at Victoria East Gym. The game's going to start at 5 p.m. before the big-time showdown there. Victoria West facing Alamo Heights. That game will start at 7 p.m. there for football-wise at Memorial Stadium. Now over to the St. Joseph Lady Flyers for volleyball. They face the St. Anthony Yellow Jackets. They'll be at home there tonight. Lady Flyers look to stay undefeated in district play, and they started off strong and won in straight sets there on Future Flyer night. As senior Jordan Johnston had 12 kills, 9 digs. And Maylee Montgomery had 10 kills and 3 digs, also 3 blocks as well. And after the game, both Johnston and Montgomery talked about how playing with each other has helped them and this team this season so far.
My favorite blockers to block with. Her personality is just great. We get along very well, and just being like one of the 2 most dominant players on the team, like it just feels so amazing to have her like on my side with the court.
She's so sweet. She's honest, and she's very just in general. She's very sweet, and she'll like if you're doing bad in a game, if you're doing not your best in a game, she'll kind of hype you up. She'll be like, it's okay, don't worry about it. Let's just try to do this instead.
Even though tonight Montgomery and Johnson had a big game, actually after the game, the Lady Flyers honored their libero Jordy Ybarra for recording 1,000 career digs, and also Zoe Henning also was kind of honored as well, having 1,000 career assists there for their performance out there in their career. So now the Lady Flyers are going to turn their attention to at San Antonio Christian there. It'll be Thursday night, and that game's going to start there at 6 p.m. And that's going to do it here in sports. Don, Shauna, back to you.
Max, thank you, and stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather. Plus, she's back just in time for Halloween. The Haunted Doll that terrified movie audiences is touring again.
Stay up late. It's good for your body.
Ice? Let's get ice off our streets and into our beverages. So let's just abide together.
The second annual Florida Alligator Festival drew crowds near the Big Cypress National Preserve this weekend. Fans celebrated Florida wildlife with gator gear, reptile exhibits, and tribal vendors from the Seminole and Muscogee nations. I think that's how you say it.
Right.
Organizers say the event honors old Florida culture, a blend of native traditions and Everglades heritage. The festival also featured live alligator wrestling. Yeah, I'll let them stick with that one.
Yeah.
As well as safety demonstrations from local handlers.
Yeah, it looks like fun. Well, the haunted Annabelle doll is back on tour just in time for Halloween. The doll that inspired the Conjuring movies is in Illinois this weekend for the Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo. She's touring with the New England Society for Psychic Research. Founded by paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warden, visitors can see Annabelle and other items from the Warrens Occult Museum Saturday from 9 to 6. Remember when dolls like Barbie and Ken and not occult? Yeah. Remember that? I guess I'm too old to remember when that.
It's interesting how a doll can be so scary.
Well, here's another one. Remember when a clown was funny? Now you go,
Like all scared.
Amazing stuff. Well, folks, we have no significant changes in our weather. We've got a nice day tomorrow, but it'll be warm. And then a cool front comes through with a north wind. The evenings will be very comfortable. Daytimes, however, still sunny and still keeping us in the 90-degree mark.
We don't want you having any nightmares tonight, so we're leaving you with something cute and sweet. It was a panda party in China this weekend as 3 giant pandas celebrated their birthdays at the Shanghai Wild Animal Park. 8-year-olds Zhu Bei and Jin Jin and 6-year-old Kang Kang were treated to handmade cakes and decorations. Keepers say the event took weeks to prepare, aimed at celebrating the pandas and raising awareness about conservation. China's protection efforts have helped the wild panda population grow to nearly 1,900. So even when they're not small and roly-poly, they're still cute, even as adults.
That's right.
Celebrate their birthdays.
That's right.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Jimmy Kimmel Live starts now.